What the fuck? Too scared to open my door.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. What I told you. Come here.
The reason I had to move out of my flat. I was home alone.
Gabe? Gabe? It's your mom. You should come out. You've been in there for so long. Gabe? Come out. Gabe? Gabe, it's your mother. You should come out.
Then what's your name then?
This is Christopher Westbrook, a TikTok famous chef that was always making recipes and dinner for the sorority house he worked at. Now, people online really seemed to like Christopher. He seemed like this fun-loving chef who cared a lot about the food he was making for these young women. But nobody would have ever seen what was coming next. In August of this year, Christopher was arrested for the possession of CP, meaning he's a hardcore pedophile. And in total, he was charged with possessing, distributing, and viewing CP materials. But this story only gets more and more disturbing. So once authorities got a search warrant for Christopher's belongings, they entered his house and they recovered a laptop and a hard drive. And what they found on that hard drive was nothing short of absolutely disturbing. They found over 700 images of children being abused. Yes, more than 700 images of CP were found on his devices. That is a lot. And to think that before this arrest, he actually had 150,000 followers here on this platform. That's a really big amount of followers, and he could have turned this into some sort of a career. That is, if he didn't make such a terrible, disgusting, deplorable decision. This all started in June of 2021 when the Center for Missing and Exploited Children alerted local authorities saying that there were some explicit images involving children being uploaded to an account on Google owned by this guy. And thankfully authorities were able to sweep in, take this guy into custody, and get him off the streets. Now, a lot of people were actually really pissed at Christopher because just a week or so before he was arrested, he got on TikTok and was begging people for money.
This isn't a video that I want to make, I promise. But as most of you know, I work at a college.
So yeah, he was asking people for donations. I know a number of people donated quite a significant amount of money to this guy. And I don't know if the process has been started to get people refunds or what's going on with that, but I mean, I can't imagine the feeling of those people who donated thinking they were helping this lovable guy out, when in reality they were donating to a hardcore, disturbed pedophile. Just goes to show once again that you can't really trust anybody on this app.
This is a big deal.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Are you ready? I'm coming.
Is she trying to leave?
There's two in there. The blonde is ours. That's what's ours.
Okay. Do not let her out that door. So she shows no signs. You can't check for hemorrhaging. What is HCG?
It's a hormone that is secreted by the placenta.
Okay.
And if there's a baby in there, the HCG is what the hormone that mandates going and getting the nutrients and bringing it to baby.
Okay.
So it's in mama's blood, mama's urine, mama's everything.
Okay.
And it stays up for 6 weeks.
Okay. All right.
It's taken off. You don't want no part.
Huh?
You don't want no part of this. He took it off. He's the OBGYN. Yeah, I was going to get called up for resuscitating the baby.
What did we step into?
Oh, it's interesting. So
Kidnapping almost.
I think it's going to be that.
Yeah, because we've had Lamar County called here too. Lamar County, I talked to Texarkana, and then Bowie County.
So when I'm talking and they're talking, I don't understand. They've never done this before. Why are they keeping me? I was like, hey, I'm just the ER talking. I said, I don't know why you're not up and up
Okay.
this week.
She's in there. She refuses to have a vaginal check to make sure she's not hemorrhaging. They've done an ultrasound and HCG, and it doesn't show that she's been pregnant.
Okay.
They have the placenta.
Where's she?
She is in the room. She
You're
is
not letting her leave?
no.
Authorities make their way to Taylor's room, where an unbelievable truth is about to be revealed.
Hey, okay. Thank God. She's on the phone now with her boyfriend, so I'll try to sidetrack her a little bit. He's an hour away.
Okay.
I can sit with her.
Well, that's what Chad wants to do.
Just talk with the ER doctor. They took blood work, HCG levels, which is a hormone. It's not showing she was pregnant. And they're saying that the placenta, they can send the placenta off for test and whether it comes back to her or not. She won't let her do a vaginal exam to make sure she's not hemorrhaging. So she won't let her.
Hey there. What's your name?
Taylor Parker.
Taylor? Hey, my name's Chad Stansby. I'm a OSBI agent up here, and I heard you brought your baby in. Did you give birth on the side of the road or something?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where was that here? In Curtin County?
No, it was in DeKalb.
DeKalb down in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. So what happened this morning? Did you just go into labor on the side of the road or something?
No, me and I was supposed to ride with my fiance, and we sell, we own a hog buying facility, and we were gonna come through here, but I was having contractions and stuff and wasn't feeling good, so I stayed at home and told him we would just meet here after he dropped the hogs at 7. And he got tied up. I mean, he's on his way.
Okay. Now how did you get here? Did you drive yourself?
No, an ambulance brought me. Yes, LifeNet.
Oh, okay.
Taylor states that her fiancé, Wade Griffin, will arrive shortly at the hospital.
The nurses said that you weren't going to let the doctor check you to make sure you weren't hemorrhaging or anything.
They did an ultrasound.
The hemorrhaging is the bleeding. Whether you're passing clots or not passing clots, it's really good to have you checked for that because
you may have seen Megan is Missing, but you may not know the real life story behind it. This girl disappeared, and then a few months later, her friend disappeared. And it's just as upsetting, so viewer discretion advised. Ashley Pond was a popular 12-year-old girl who left to walk to the bus stop on January 9th, 2002. But that evening, when she didn't return home, her mom realized that she'd never even gotten to school that day. People weren't sure if Ashley's disappearance was related to foul play or if she'd run away, because a few months earlier, she'd accused her friend's dad of trying to touch her at a sleepover. And because people suck, she was basically called a drama queen and not taken seriously. Her best friend on the dance team, Miranda Gaddis, got heavily involved in the search. And their dance team even organized fundraisers. But on March 8th of that same year, Miranda then went missing while walking to the bus stop. And this was the same bus stop, so people quickly realized that there was a predator among them and he probably lived in the same neighborhood. And the house nearest to the bus stop was owned by Ward Weaver. His daughter went to school with the girls, and remember when I said Ashley was the subject of gossip? Well, Ward Weaver was the man she accused. And after the disappearance, this man dug a hole in his yard and covered it with concrete. But he was so confident that he even invited the media into his house to see that the girls weren't there. This neighborhood nice guy was exposed as a predator on August 13th when his son's girlfriend called 911. She'd been at their house when Ward Weaver attacked her, and luckily she escaped and called 911. But Miranda and Ashley were still missing. While he was in jail for the attack on his son's girlfriend, the landlord came to visit his property. When the landlord looked up, he saw 5 fly strips completely covered with flies. And knowing that there were 2 missing girls in the neighborhood, the landlord realized he just found them. This is a long story, and the rest of the info will be in part 2.
The night before Ted Bundy's execution, he asked to have a sit-down with his therapist, and just hours before he was to be executed, she figured out the seed moment that sprouted into the victim type that Ted Bundy would always choose. And it proved that Ted Bundy had been a monster his entire life. Check this shit out.
I got a call from his lawyer saying he wanted to meet with me before he was executed.
Testing.
He gave me permission to tape the conversation.
January 23rd, 1989.
I asked him, why did he ask to see me? And he said,
I suppose you're more interested in me and what was going on in my head and how this developed.
I was not fascinated by his perversions. I was far more interested in how he got the way he was.
Whatever his motives for asking me to come to Stark and mine for coming, our 4.5 hours together on the day before his execution were riveting.
Your sister, did you ever kind of look at them while they were dressed in bathing? Because that's what he said was a curiosity you had.
In my teens. Well, this is something I've never told anyone, and I almost promised myself I never would.
Like hospitality?
Well, yeah. But they...
When the tape recorder was off, Bundy told me that he had had an encounter with one of his sisters. Later, his mother told me that Bundy had told his sister that she should be careful because there was someone out in the world who was killing women who looked just like her.
This terrifying video was caught on a Ring camera in Henderson, Nevada.
Help! Help me! Help me! Help me! Help! Help! Somebody help me! Help! Stop! Neighbors! Neighbors! Neighbors!
This is really scary. If anybody recognizes this couple, please contact the Henderson, Nevada Police Department immediately. I hope she's found safe.
Normal looking photos that have a disturbing backstory. Part 29. This stroller belongs to a 4-year-old Ukrainian girl named Liza. In July of last year, she and her mother Irina were hit by a Russian missile. This is 23-year-old Ricardo Lopez. Over the course of a few months, he vlogged the entire process of making and sending a bomb to his favorite singer, Bjork. Luckily, the package was intercepted, but not before Ricardo took his life on camera. This x-ray shows an infant victim of the 1999 Brixton nail bombing. A neo-Nazi named David Copeland bombed areas across London, but miraculously, the baby survived. This photo shows 69 boys in a dormitory before it was set on fire in 1959. And while 48 of them managed to escape, 21 of them died in the flames. Further, police never investigated who or what caused the fire.
911, what's the location of your emergency? What's the address? Tell me exactly what happened.
She hung herself in the garage. No.
Stay on the line. Are you with her now?
Well, I'm in the garage.
How old is she?
42.
115 dead bodies were just found rotting inside of this funeral home in Colorado yesterday. This is an extremely disturbing news story. So this is the Return to Nature funeral home in Colorado Springs, Colorado. They specialize in green burials, which is kind of a new trendy thing, which amongst other things means that your body is not embalmed upon your death. So you're kind of left to rot and just go back into nature as you came into the world. But it seems like the owners of this funeral home took that process a step too far. So inside of this funeral home, where there's 2,500 square feet of space, they discovered 115 bodies. I mean, I can't imagine what the interior of that building looked and smelled like. And according to the police department that made this shocking discovery, most of those bodies were so badly decomposed that they can only identify them through DNA. Obviously, this means that these bodies have been stored there improperly for a very, very long time. In another interesting twist, the authorities actually stated that they don't know exactly what this funeral home was doing with these bodies. Some theories include they may have been selling body parts. Obviously, they may have just been telling people they were burying their loved ones and they weren't. Or there could be other gruesome, disturbing things that were happening here that I guess we'll find out about soon. Yeah, so since this happened yesterday, we don't know much about what exactly was going on here, but I'll be sure to update you guys once we find out more about what the hell was going on at this funeral home.
The United Kingdom has a problem with men stalking women. This is Lorraine Cox, a 32-year-old woman walking home after a night out. Following her, Asam Mangori, also known as Christopher Mayer. Now, watch this. Lorraine does a good job at staying calm, but it isn't enough. And this would be the last time she is seen. And now, a few days later. And guess who's inside that bag? Asam Mangori was found guilty of murder. But the fear for women walking the streets in the United Kingdom is still very much real.